Happy Thursday.
Hello.
How's it going today, Sajay?
Going good. Weather's really nice. I can't complain.
I got one for you to review if you have a chance. Just dropped in the comments there.
It's obvious.
It's kind of a weird one,
Yeah.
gets into some of the Go internals, but I figure it's not too big of a change. If there's a better way to do it in Go, I'm all ears. I'm sure Tianon
Um,
is too.
I mean, if there is a better way, we can come back to it, is what I'm guessing.
That would work as well. Why am I offline? Get my sharing going here. All right. Got all my stuff sorted here. Folks might show up a little late, we'll see. Um, so yeah, Sajay, if you're looking at that first one, that'll knock that out because Tinon already jumped on that one. Figure we might want to chat about the tag listing order. And then the other one I was interested in was the version media type stuff, versioning of media types. So jumping into the first one here, the tag sort order. The only reason I haven't reviewed this, I just haven't had a chance, but I suspect this is just fine. We definitely needed to upgrade the Zot version. So that was a good change there to me. And the verbiage on this one is asciibetical a word, or are we making that up?
Did you Google it?
I'm like I say, I'm just reading this right now for just getting around to this one.
Asciibetical order is a common term. It's not something I made up.
Okay. I'm both happy and sad at the same time. Happy
I'm
for the
glad I'm
spec.
glad you said it, not me, Tina.
I'm happy for the spec. I'm kind of sad that it's not a made up word.
I mean, it's a made up word in the same sense that all words are made up, right?
Yeah, but
It
is there an
just
absidentical? Never
I'm
mind.
sure if that were a common enough thing for people to need, that phrase would
Ooh.
grow in popularity.
you kind of set yourself up there for that one, Mike.
Yeah, no comment. The comment was in the punchline.
All right. Overall, that looks good. This whole time I thought you were just making the word up. I thought it was a great word. I just figured you were making it up. I knew exactly
It
You
is
can be
great. I
shamed.
mean, yes, Brandon, I made it up. It's fiction.
ASCII order. It's understood.
If that makes you more impressed with me, yep, I made it up. It was me.
Like I said, happy and sad simultaneously.
Yeah. We can
Uh,
share in the sadness that is the fact that lexical's been in the spec for a long time, including a clarification that it means case insensitive, and yet many popular implementations didn't read that.
Oops.
if if they did, they probably would have come to us and said, "How do we handle two things with the same sort order?"
Which comes first, lowercase
Yeah.
a or uppercase a?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, whoops.
And that's why my test validation here allows either of those.
Upper or lowercase first, but
Yeah,
not both
basically it takes
simultaneously.
the input and does a stable sort based on the case insensitive value. So whichever one came first in the input is the one that comes first in what it expects to see in the output. So it
Yep.
is just testing whether or not the lexical constraint is affirmed.
We learned a long time ago, Tianan, always to lower before you sort or check for case sensitivity or check for equals, string compare. Always.
Yeah, I mean, you say that we learned that, and yet there are several very popular, prominent registry implementations that have implemented this constraint with just a sort dot strings, which is not lexical.
I blame Linux.
If we were all still using Windows, this wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, no.
I I think, I mean, you're joking, but I think that's part of where this language came from in the first place, is that the initial implementation of Docker distribution implemented this via just trusting the S3 APIs to return things in lexical order. So it really was file system based.
Which, of course, on Windows is not case sensitive. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I don't think it
So
goes all the way back to Windows because this was S3, which is presumably not Windows on the back end.
To be fair, we invented this problem in DOS before Windows.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I feel like what Tina
Windows
was
is the
saying is
last
that
holdout.
this blame all goes back to S3.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not.
it was shelling out to S3 or Azure or whichever driver you configured. So the sort order of your tag listing would depend on which driver you had configured in the back end of the registry. But, you know,
Oops.
and the latest version of distribution just uses sort.strings, which is telling in itself.
So does Zot, so does Olareg. I think a good chunk of us are doing the similar stuff. I think the interesting case might be what's Red Hat doing on some of their stuff because weren't they Python based?
Is sort.strings UTF-16 or 8 by default? I can't remember.
Probably 8. I think,
It's based on Go strings, which are UTF-8.
yeah.
There you go. My memory not so
But
good. I have to test these things in
but
playground.
is Quay based on written in Python? I feel like they weren't written in Go.
Yeah, it's Python.
Okay. So what sort function are you using over there?
Uh, the whatever the standard library one. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't know if
Or-
like if it basically I think we encode everything in UTF-8. So yeah, that's sorting.
UTF-8 based sorting, which is,
Yeah,
or at least
yeah,
consistent.
yeah.
So what are you actually asking here, Brandon? Are you asking us to permanently or
So the
configurable? Configurable makes sense.
The language here says lexical or ASCII-betical, and we're referencing Go sort.strings, and so I'm just making sure when we get outside of Go that we're not breaking other people's use cases.
Okay, lexical or. Maybe with some more comments about the default in most of the, these Go implementations is going to be this, something to that effect.
Well, we're almost all using Go sort.strings.
Yeah, I figured Go's sort.strings was so common that it deserved its own spec reference directly. And so the first reference to ASCII-betical includes a note of that being Go's sort.strings.
Ah, okay. So it's not, what do they do for the characters that are in UTF-8 but not ASCII? Is it, are they just talking about the ASCII characters in UTF-8?
This is the tag listing API, so it doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
The
You've got a
RPN
Tag characters are
restriction.
limited.
for tag
Yeah,
characters
you're
is
limited to ASCII characters. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, and even a subset of ASCII characters.
Then that works for anything. Yeah, as long as they're using that order. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Upper, lower, dash, number. There are a handful of characters that are in our expression list.
Yeah, I remember seeing the reg list for okay.
Which is funny because the rest of the string is all lower. And so it
Ooh, so
gets
that
interesting
sort of,
when you
do you mention here that and limited to the characters?
not in this part of the change, it's somewhere in the spec.
It's
It
somewhere.
might be way above. You're gonna make you go dig it up.
I'm just saying you could add a comment there as restricted by in the order.
Try and remember if we had up top. So the reference or 28
Reference tag must
as a tag
be A
and
through Z, yeah, and 0.
number underscore, and then A through Z number dot underscore dash. So you can start with an underscore. Boy, people can have all kinds of fun with these things.
You could put a reference here and then cite it down lower, or
Yeah.
or just
But what's funny is we allow uppercase in tags, but we do not allow it in repository names. And I think host names officially, technically, are supposed to be lowercase in the DNS spec, I think. So you get all kinds
I'm
of
just
interesting
saying
things.
restricted by the character supported or something to that effect. Yeah. If you need, I didn't read all of your text to see if it was already explained away.
And I might be wrong about that host name because I know there's a check in there trying to figure out if the first field in an expression is a host name or part of the repo name, and then your default in docker.io. And the check includes, is it uppercase? If it's uppercase, it must be a registry name, which is the number of weird exceptions in there that we put in to try to make that logic gets a little convoluted.
Well, it gets stripped out, right? The domain doesn't need to know what the domain is.
But it's trying to determine, is this first field a registry name or is the first field part of the repo name on Docker Hub? And trying to make that logical conclusion there gets very complicated of, well, it can't be the repo name if there's a dot because we don't allow the dot means it's a host name. It can't be the repo name if it's localhost because we always assume that localhost is just going to be something pointing to the local machine. So we have all these little random exceptions in there of saying, okay, if this, then we're not on Docker Hub.
Funny.
Gets convoluted, but that's not OCI because we have not standardized what a reference is. So
Or
thank you.
namespace.
Thank you, Sajay, for that other review. Yeah, on this, I'm probably good. I just need to go through and do some digging on it. So no complaints from me. Anybody else over here? Mike, I'm sure you'll have a chance to look at that one.
Yeah. I'll give it a quick spin.
Yeah, get it reviewed and hopefully we're all good there. And yeah, I'm good with the Zod upgrade as well. We're going to have to upgrade again, not too distant future here. And let's see, the other one that I thought might be interesting to chat about, and we're always welcome to throw other stuff on the agenda too if we're missing anything, is this one from Cypher saying, hey, we don't have the media type or the schema version inside of the config.json. You know, the config media type that we define. And yeah, the CV is about manifest. So, and I was thinking similar where we've got two possible manifests coming back from that API. We've only got a single config me type defined in OCI.
I think to meaningfully change the config schema, you would have to rev bump the manifest anyways. So like that, it is a different manifest media type at that point, or at least a different manifest artifact type. So I'm not sure what problem he's trying to solve.
I think he's just trying to be consistent, saying we put the media type and the version in all the other JSON that we're generating. Why don't we do it in this one?
Yeah, okay. So how are we going to do that to the tarballs? Where do
He's
you
just
put
picking on
media
the
type on a tarball? There's not even
he's
a magic format string for a tarball because it just starts with a tar header right off the bat.
I think he's just picking on the JSON that we define.
Yeah.
Now, if you can somehow manage to get a tarball that'll parse as a JSON file, that would be impressive.
I'm sure if John were here, he'd already be typing up some Go code to do so.
I'm thinking you need to get something that's syntactically correct with that header.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not against this, but I'm also trying to think of what problems it solves. Because it is part of the whole tag itself, like you're saying, and the parent object, whatever is referencing the config JSON, does include the media type there. So there is a descriptor point to this blob that says this thing will be yada yada at that digest.
If I make a tarball that is a valid zip file, like that is a thing and it will exist, and we can't update the JSON of that tarball zip file to tell us what it is. We have to rely on the parent telling us what it is. That's how the structure works. It's just that manifests are a special object.
Manifests don't necessarily have a descriptor point to them. You can hit them directly.
And manifests are the DAG.
Well,
Blobs are only ever leaves.
a manifest can be a leaf of an or a child of another. So you can have an image within an index. And so it could be something other than the root node you're accessing, but not necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to think about this one some more myself. But valid question. Figured it would be good for getting some thoughts from the rest of the gallery here. Are we missing other topics you want to chat about? We've been cutting these things off early because people haven't had a lot of stuff to chat about. And I put a few things on here, but not much. Oh, I get the feeling people like the 30-minute meetings. We can trim them down to like 22.5 minutes here if I wrap this up quick. Last call before we call this one. All right. On that note, have a great rest of your week, and we'll circle back and do this again next week, and I'll get a few reviews in there. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.